Hi world, it's 12:15 midday on the 3rd of November 2015. Being a practicing astrologer, you get used to seeing different types of patterns coming up at different times in one's life. For example, sometimes I will do 3 readings in a day and all 3 of them will have Venus in the 8th house, or I'll find some other type of astrological pattern that's repetitive, and at that point I think, okay, so what's this trying to teach me? And then every so often I find patterns in other people's charts or in other people's lives that really get me angry. Let me give you 3 examples. About a week ago I dealt with an older lady who, when she was young, in her mid-20s, was told by a tarot reader, because she pulled the death card, the Hanged Man, upside down, that she would die of burning at a young age. She's obviously now in her 60s or 70s, she's still alive. But all of her life she's been scared of dying by burning. As a result, she's had a lot of accidents involving heat and fire, and she's quite badly scarred. And as she pointed out to me, if she hadn't been told that by that tarot reader some 30 to 40 years ago, would those accidents have happened? It's also dealt very recently, a couple of days ago, with a man who was told by a palm reader that he would have an early death at age 28. He's now 28 and he's in fighting fit health, but over the last few years he's been really worried about what he sees as his impending death. He'll be 29 in a couple of weeks, and I told him that that palmist was talking absolute rubbish. This morning I dealt with a client whom an astrologer, part of the family, had told this client of mine that their grandchild would be murdered before she was 25. This grandchild obviously has not been told this and is now 20. She's born with the sun opposite Saturn. So I understand why the astrologer would have said that. But to say from someone's horoscope that they'll be murdered it's a crime. I feel so angry at these people who go around forecasting death. How dare they? How dare these people say things like that? Death is immutable. It happens to all of us at some stage in our life. We are all going to die. There is no such thing as immortality. But death is random. You cannot predict death, and those people that do are charlatans. If any of you have ever finding that you're with anyone who practices prediction or forecasting and they turn around and predict death, walk away. Don't pay them. They're fakers. The art of predicting death, or when people predict this, it is a power trip based on the need for self-gratification or the power over others. It is morally and ethically wrong. If I ever meet that astrologer who predicted death or by murder, I'm going to punch him, because that is so out of order, so wrong, and it gives the rest of us such a bad name. Just for the record, there is no astrological configuration by which you can predict one's passage or death. Nothing. Yes, there are certain configurations that do suggest that over the course of one's life, ill health can be a problem. There are other configurations that point to individuals being headstrong or taking stupid chances when they should know better. And sometimes it can be that when you see someone who is already potentially elderly and infirm, you can see something coming up in their chart which will then bring a sense of release in some shape or form. But this is not predicting death. This is a natural and organic conclusion to something that's already approaching the end of its time. Any form of forecasting is that. It is forecasting. It is suggesting potentials for the future. As an astrologer, I do not forecast futures. I do not predict. As all of my clients know, what I'm really good at is giving them timings and areas, but also making them aware of these areas and timings and then giving them the power to make their own choices. You should never make any attempt to predict the future. The future is up for grabs. Always has been, always will be. And anyone who says they can predict the future is either genuinely psychic, and there's very few of them, or they're power brokers and out to gain control in some inappropriate or unethical way. So use soothsayers such as myself for things around timings and areas, yes, but not for events. You cannot predict the future. Besides that, at the end of the day, I don't believe in death. It's just a transition of consciousness from one state of being to another. And when I get back to where I'm going, when I get home, I know there's going to be a big party waiting for me. So I'm not in a hurry, but I'll be interested to see what happens when it comes. On that slightly morbid note, I'll leave you. Catch you tomorrow. Bye.